Swippy92 here. I've been playing a little bit of Phantom Abyss for a few hours, and with that, I thought I would share some thoughts about the game and some tips for you beginners and possibly some other people out there. Well, let's get to it. Let's start with what this game is. Short version, it's a rogue-like platformer in early access. It's on Steam, and the goal is to get the relics with by jumping from place to place and over traps, under traps, and using a whip to get around. Now, there is only one relic at the end, but there is also two relics on the way that you can choose to get. But when you get a relic, you can't return. You will never return to that precise temple. Actually, no one can return. Only one player can get the relic and the temple is gone. Because this is kind of a multiplayer PvP game. You will never fight a player, but the ghosts of other players are present in the game. These ghosts are non-interactable. They can't do anything to you except block you. And by block, I mean block your view, which is kind of annoying, but as there is only one player that can get that will get the relic, there is only one player that can get the relic, and the one who gets there first is, well, gets the relic and gets to keep it and brag about it. But you don't run at the same time. These ghosts are from dead players, so that's an important distinction. The temple rooms are random generated, so each run is slightly different, but you can learn to recognize most rooms. The game has its up and downs, which I will talk more about in a future review. But for now, let's get to the tips. Let's start these tips with something simple. Look up when you're running. Look up and down and look for hidden rooms and places where you can find coins. These coins are used for the blessings that you can earn or get through the game when you're getting to the end of a floor. You can buy blessings that gives you maybe a double jump or other things like that. Some things like these bigger chests that have these uncommon keys or keys can be used later to buy new whips as well. Now, the puzzles, again, analyze and look. Now, I tackled this floor totally wrong there. So let's do it again and see how I do. Much better, much better. Look how the puzzle works and take your time looking. These hammers can easily be avoided by just jumping on the side. No need to even face it, really. These longer ones, well, they can be a bit more tricky, but are quite simple to do as well once you get the hang of it. These blades, I do hate the blades, but they can easily be avoided, especially in these staircases, by just moving on the side instead of running up the middle. These double hammers, you can actually run between them. I will say though, this won't work maybe on the second floor or second level. They are a bit, I think they're a bit tighter here, so it doesn't work as well. So do this instead, might work. It worked for me at least. Now, an important thing to remember in this game is also your whip is a great tool, but it has its limits for the reach, but it is far longer than you think, I can imagine. When you hold down right click, you can see the green marker if you're close enough, but when you're jumping to a ledge, it's not always you see the marker, but you can still grab on with the whip. You can also use the whip to open chests, which is perfect for when you're on the run, when you need, or when the chest is in an space where the traps are on the chest or close to the chest, and you need to open it up. You can also see here that I'm going up high, like I'm listening to Obi-Wan here and getting the high ground, because that is what you want to do. Getting the high ground lets you survey the room, location you're in, to actually see all the traps and what road to take. Well, you can also, of course, survey for the secret rooms or the hard to reach rooms. This is also a great example of how you can't see that the whip can reach that high, but it does. Also remember that your character does fly up a little bit when you use the whip, so you will fly a little bit higher than what the whip can reach, which does help you to grab onto ledges and climb up. And on to the high ground we go. Oh, and when you whip chests, you don't really need to actually go up to the coins and pick them up, unless there's a ghost player that has opened them. Now, ghost players, if they open the chest, then you will need to run up and get the coins manually. Sorry. Again, look around and really look. And whip the chests in the right place, otherwise you will miss. Now, of course, whip open chest is perfect for when guardians are chasing you, like we could see here. There's a guardian coming there. More on those guys soon. And they are perfect for when you're being chased and they're getting close. You can just whip the chest open and then just move on. You don't need to run up to the chest, just whip it and go back. And then start dodging if a guardian is close. Now I will say this, sometimes the chests aren't worth it if the guardians are too close. It's better to live than to actually get a chest. Here we have a good example, just whip, jump, roll and sprint. Now another way to get coins is to break these urns or these pottery, but beware of the poison cloud that can come up from some of these urns, or you will end up like this player. Poor guy. Now the fastest way to break these is do it in a straight line, because then you break all of them in that line, in that straight line. So much easier. Now, here we have one of the guardians. This is the masked Defiler. She, or Lady Poison, as I would like to call her, she spits out, purple poison clouds. Now you maybe noticed there in the beginning when I was in the cloud that I did get hurt, but also I got slowed down. So being on the move and using the whip to get out of the clouds is a good strategy. Now being on the move, you need to move so that the poison clouds don't hurt you. That's fairly obvious. Now I have had instances where the guardians have become invisible, so I see them spawn, but I don't know where they are. This doesn't happen too often. This has only happened to me once or twice, maybe 3 times at most, so it's no big deal, but it's worth mentioning. And as you can see, these poison clouds They're there for a little while and then they disappear. Now, worth mentioning is also that she spits out 4 bombs in the beginning, but as you progress through the floors, you will start spitting out more and more. I don't know what the max is, but I imagine it's somewhere around 10 or more. Probably 12. Now, standing and wait for her to spit out the bombs is also a good tactic, because then you can just move to another location before they actually explode on you. And here we have one of, I would say, is the most easy one to avoid, but it's also the most stressful sometimes. Devouring Rage, or as I like to call him, Angry Man. This one chases you down meter by meter, and he doesn't move very fast in the beginning, but he moves through walls and chases you relentlessly, and as you progress, the faster he becomes. The closer he is to you, the more more red your screen will become, and that is the stressful part. As he comes closer, it gets red and you become a bit stressful. Maybe you're like, oh no, he's getting me, he's gonna take me. This is where mastering the controls are quite important. The whip and the rolling, pressing control just before you land to actually roll and negate the damage. And also here we can see again, just whip the chest and move on. And here we see me breaking the urns, but I don't break everything, because as I turn around I see this. Yeah, this caused me to get a bit stressed, so I actually rolled off and actually hurt myself in the fall. If he touches you, you lose a health point, that's it. So don't let him touch you, but yeah, I didn't even know he was here actually, so here I got pretty stressed out as well. And I gotta say, it was really, really bad room I got. The last, and but not least, is Laser Eye, or Cyclops. But his real name is Eye of Agony, and he shoots lasers. Well, laser, he shoots a laser at you. And the more you progress, the faster he shoots. So be on the move, always be on the move with this guy. He teleports around, targets you, and then shoots after a short while. Now, the faster you move, the more likely he is to miss, of course. Also, running in a bit of a, don't run in a straight line, but also don't run zigzag. Oh, and don't run into guardians. I learned that the hard way. They damage you if you touch them, you get hurt. So yeah, don't touch them, even none of them. Yeah, not good. Anyway, as he shoots, he will target you, but as he targets you, he will shoot after a short while. But this can, of course, be blocked by walls. He has a problem with shooting through walls, so at least there's that. But he can't instantly target you either, so he will teleport, target you, and then if you run zigzag, he won't hit you, but he might fire in between, and if you're running back and forth, you might actually accidentally run into the laser. So running in a straight line, maybe running a bit to the side sometimes here and there, is a good strategy. And also using the whip to its full capabilities, jump higher, maybe avoid things. He is quite formidable actually. He is the only guardian I think you have killed me. No, sorry, the masked Defiler killed me once. Here we have an excellent example of how walls can be used to actually make him not be able to target you and work to your advantage. He can't shoot through the pillar, so he teleports to a new location to be able to target you. And Again, he can shoot me, so he teleports. Now, this can be used to actually make him teleport to a location that makes it harder for him to target you in the future. So use this to your advantage. Use walls and corridors to your advantage. And lastly, my last advice, but I would argue it's also my best advice for this game, is to just take it easy. Don't stress it, just take your time when you can. Most of these puzzles and, well, traps and these things are not stressful. They are, as long as you're not being chased by a guardian, it's a walk. It can be a walk in the park. So just here, I'm letting the floor do its job, and then I run across. I don't, of course, I will need to sprint to just get across, but I don't want to stress. But here is an excellent example of what I could have done if I had actually analyzed this little corridor better. Because here I get damaged and I lose a bunch of coins because the whip I'm using lets me heal if I'm standing in water, but I pay in coins. I spend 50 coins for each half health, half heart, but as I get damaged, I lose health or lose coins, all my coins. See here, if I had looked up, I could have used these pillars to just get across without getting damaged. And yeah, I didn't analyze and I paid the price. Literally. Too bad, too bad. Look around, people. Look around. Be aware of your surroundings. This is the part where you say yes, sensei. Joking aside, that's all for this video. I hope these tips will help you, and well, I hope these tips will help you in your hunt for relics, in your hunt for the ancient relic, no, as these, or the mega relic. I don't know what they call the lost relic. Anyway, I hope these tips will help you on your hunt for relics, and I've been Sweeping92. Have a great life, and I hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye.